Welcome to Support Life, a program focusing on current social issues from a life-affirming perspective. I'm Gavin Baulch and my guest is Mirella Rich, and she's one of the hosts of the Channel 31 programs Nat Chat and Spirit of Life. Mirella, welcome.
Thank you, Gavin. Nice to be here.
And you have a special guest today
Yes,
called
I
Nina.
have my little angel with me.
Nina. Also called Banana.
Also called Banana, Angel.
Yes.
Cute.
Lots of wonderful names.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was life like for school?
School, I enjoyed my school days. I went to a primary school which was very small. There was under 70 children there from grade prep to grade 6. And that was a Catholic school in Armidale near East Paran called Our Lady of Lourdes. And still friends with some of the children there, so we're all still in contact. And the secondary school was Presentation College, Windsor. It was a girls' school on Dandenong Road.
Good. Great.
Yeah, all very good experiences. I enjoyed school.
Okay. Now, as a mum, you've moved on from school-type things to homeschooling for your daughter.
Yes, yeah, and I didn't even think I was going to do that. My sister-in-law was doing it and she talked to me a lot about it, and I started to think about it, and then I met more and more people that were homeschooling, and I started to see what a beautiful idea it is. And the children that are homeschooled, I found them just very, something special about them. Something a bit,
Yes, well, there are a number in my broader family who do homeschool, and I think that the children love talking and to associate with the older people, having great conversations.
Yes, yeah.
And very socially adjusted.
That's what I found too. They can talk to any age because they're not limited to just their year at school.
That's right,
so
which is great.
Yeah.
So Nina, I had some questions for you, and one was, so when you get together at homeschool with your friends, what do you like doing?
I like playing with them.
What sort of things?
I like playing, it's like a really fun game I made up myself.
Yes.
Well, we just call it Goodies and Baddies because we had a better name for it, but we changed it to that. And that's what we like playing that game.
That's great. Now let's say you're playing Goodies and Baddies and someone falls over and hurts themselves. What happens in here? What do you do?
I'll get their parents to help.
Okay. Do you feel as though you must do something for them to help them? Okay, so is that special word called love?
Yes.
It's a great word, isn't it? Okay. And when we love one another, it's just magic. Okay. Now, your mum's going to read something, and it kind of touches on the need to love one another. So let's see what your mum's going to read.
Okay, this is a message from Mary in Medjugorje on September the 2nd, 2008. It's about seeing Jesus in people. She said, this is part of the message. My children, stop. Look in the eyes of your brother and see Jesus, my son. If you see joy, rejoice with him. If there is pain in the eyes of your brother, with your tenderness and goodness, cast it away, because without love, you are lost. Only love is effective. It works miracles. Love will give you unity in my son and the victory of my heart. Therefore, my children, love. Oh, that's beautiful. And
you know, it's about children. I think children, like Nina here, teach us more about love than we do as adults. Sometimes we forget that that's a command to love one another.
That's
which is very special. And the other thing that you love are butterflies, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had a special thing to say to me, and that was a question, sort of a tricky question. It was, what butterfly never runs away or flies away from you? Remember that one?
Yeah, but that was really actually two questions. There was one, there's a toy butterfly that will never fly away from me, and there's another type, if they're caged up, they can't fly away from you if they're real.
Well, that's true, isn't it? So we really don't like to cage animals or people or make slaves of things, do we?
That's why we've never gone to the zoo.
Oh, right, okay.
Because we don't want to see caged animals, do we? We want to see everyone free.
Well, circuses have changed. You don't see many caged animals. You might see a horse that you'll ride or something like that. Mainly acrobats and gymnastics now take place at circuses, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. Great. Okay, well, I'm going to talk further with Mum. So if you want to do some drawings, which I believe you're very good at. And we might have a look at the drawing that's there later.
Okay.
So secondary school for you, where did that take place?
Secondary school, that was at Presentation College Windsor in Dandenong Road.
Yeah.
And that was a good school. That was a girls' school. And we still do reunions and catch up with the girls from there. And every now and then we might bump into each other or just do a meet-up kind of thing.
Now, your dad's an Aussie, but Mum came from Italy.
My mum was born in Italy, and I think down her line there's quite a few generations Italian. As far as I know, it's Italian. My dad's side is Australian, 3 generations, and then eventually it starts with England, Ireland, down the line on his side.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And though you learned a lot in your college years, most of the things that seemed to stick for principles of life came from Mum.
Yes, yeah. She actually really encouraged me at school to love and to spread love with all my friends, and she would often give me food to take to school and to share with friends, or even when I did ballet she'd bring me. It used to be a bit embarrassing actually because we were Catholics, and she used to, if I was playing with a girl at ballet and it was her saint day, like I think her name was Helen, it was Saint Helen that day, and she said, I'll go and bring this Leamington to her, and I was thinking, she's not Catholic, she doesn't know what it's about. But she was so happy when I gave her the Leamington because I said, it's Saint Helen's Day today. And we were at ballet and she was just so happy. So she did teach me to love a lot, and I also grew up in a family of 8 children. Right. So we had to share because, we weren't really rich or anything, so we had to sort of learn to share and to have hand-me-down clothes. And but yeah, I guess at school she's always encouraged us to go out there and love the other children. Yes.
So amongst these 8 children, where were you? First, last, in the middle?
I was in the middle.
You were in the middle?
Yeah.
What did that teach you?
To share. I remember when the next daughter after me was being born, my mum said to me, I was 2 years old, and she said, now you're going to have a new little sister or brother, and you have to love him and look after him and take care of him. It's going to be great, and it's a great responsibility. And I remember feeling this honour, like this is great, I've got this position now, to be a bigger sister. And that was like that.
Okay, well, we're going to just stop there for a moment. You're watching Support Life, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch, and my guest is Mirella Rich, one of the hosts of the Channel 31 programs Nat Chat and Spirit of Life. Mirella, you were sort of in the middle here as the middle child of 8 siblings.
Yeah.
And you learnt to share. Okay.
We all did.
Yeah, that's right. All of you learnt a great life skill.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you apply that later in life?
I'm not sure really, but I just, like when I had my accident, I was like run over, and I remember at the time I was thinking, this is like the worst thing in the world that could happen to me, because I was like running at the time and dancing and tightrope walking. I just like doing the works, and it was just like one split second a car went through a red light and ran over me, ran into another car who ran over me. And I remember during that time I thought everything was kind of over. Well, it was. My life as I knew it was over at that time, and I really wanted to work really hard to get better and get back into acting and dancing and singing and everything. And I was involved with this movement, and I used to ask them, what can I do? What can I do to, I was desperate, and they would just say, just keep loving Jesus forsaken. Love Jesus forsaken in your suffering. And I was thinking there was no real concrete answer to understand what I was going through, but I thought, well, that's the only lifeline I've been given, so I'll use it. So I'd try to love Jesus forsaken in the difficulties. And so it's already, you've got your normal everyday difficulties everybody has, sufferings. Then I had this huge suffering laid upon me. And so you've got to love Jesus forsaken in that. And so I'd start to think about Jesus on the cross. Like when I was in my worst moments, I'd think about Jesus on the cross being whipped and hurt, and I'd just think, he suffered like that. I unite my pain with him and think, well, I can help him in that sense, like help him from heaven now to do some good on earth. And I would find after I'd gone through that, this joy would just come over me. Like it might not be like immediate, it might be over half an hour or an hour later, and I would be laughing with friends or just smiling again. And I think, I can't believe an hour ago I was in like the moment of desperation and despair and thinking, what's happening, you know, my life's awful. And then these kind of things would continue to happen, and I knew that that was because of loving Jesus forsaken,
Yes.
that it brought the joy back into life.
Yes. Now, you're a paraplegic.
Well, I don't call myself a paraplegic.
Okay.
I've just had a spinal injury,
Yes.
lumbar 1 spinal injury, and I'm walking
Okay.
with crutches, but not all the time.
Yes.
But I'm getting back into it. I was walking before I was pregnant. I was walking up until my pregnancy with the crutches, and then after I had delivered my baby, I had to go in the wheelchair because I didn't have enough strength in my legs to hold her, so I got the wheelchair. And now I kind of stay in it a little bit just for protection, sort of mama bear, you know, in case the dogs come running at her, so I can sweep her up into my arms, and just more for security at the moment. But I'm getting back into the walking with the crutches as well now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. But we're testifying here to the fact that suffering plays a role in life.
In everyone's life.
Yes. Do you want to expand that a little bit from your experience and what you've seen in others?
I think no one in this world gets away without suffering. It's just everybody has suffering, everybody, and it just depends on how you deal with it. I remember I was at this health farm and this guy was saying to me, oh, so-and-so, these people, they've got it all right. You know, he was sort of like judging, and he was saying, oh, they don't have anything, these type of people, or those type of people don't have this and that. I said, no, everyone has suffering. And maybe they can deal with it in a certain way that you can't see that they have suffering, but you find every time you get to know someone really well, you will know that they have a huge cross. And like it says somewhere, I don't know if it was in the Bible, that someone wanted to swap crosses, and they said, okay, I'm sick of my cross, Jesus, give me someone else's cross. And then they put someone else's cross on, and then, no, this doesn't fit, this doesn't fit. Everyone has a cross that's suitable for them, even though we don't think it at the time. Like often I don't agree with that, I don't feel it, but the fact is that is the way it is. And we just have to find the good and the joy in life. And I think that's also through prayer.
Yes.
Mary says in Medjugorje to pray 3 hours a day. And I find when I do that, I do get a lot more peace in my life. And I'm able to deal with difficulties. And there are people in this world that are angry and upset, and they do put it on other people when they shouldn't. But if you pray for 3 hours a day, even those people won't upset you. They won't affect you, because you'll have peace with God, which is the most important thing of all.
So it's coming to a point where we find contentment with our lot, with our circumstance, our situation. So joy always comes in the morning, right? The sun shines, and God's word tells us that grace and mercy and love, they're fresh and new for the new day ahead of us.
Yeah.
Now, was there something else you wanted to read?
Yeah, I've got some beautiful things here. Beautiful things, even about life, just life in general. It's just from Mary's messages in Medjugorje, the little village in Bosnia-Herzegovina where Mary's been appearing. She said on the 25th of August 2007, may your life, little children, be a reflection of God's goodness and not of hatred and unfaithfulness. Pray, little children, that prayer may become life for you. In this way, in your life, you will discover the peace and joy which God gives to those who have an open heart to His love. And you who are far from God's mercy, convert, so that God may not become deaf to your prayers, and that it may not be too late for you. Therefore, in this time of grace, convert and put God in the first place in your life. Thank you for having responded to my call. So she wants us to put God in the first place. And then everything else follows, you know, as it says in the commandments, love God, then love your neighbour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have the ability to.
And that's, you know, the order. If we love God first, then we will meet the command to love one another as He loved us first.
Exactly, yeah. Yes. We will need to live that.
So, how busy is your day? What fills in time for you?
Well, now I'm homeschooling, so I've got homeschooling, and we're in homeschool groups as well. So we've got the social activities. We're in a Catholic homeschool group, and we're in another homeschool group that's not Catholic, but there are some Catholic mums there. And I teach Nina, And also I'm doing physio and doing 2 shows on Channel 31, Nat Chat and Spirit of Life, so my life's pretty full.
It is. Okay, well, so we don't make it any fuller, we'll take a break for you. You're watching Support Life, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch and my guest is Mirella Rich, one of the hosts of the Channel 31 programs Nat Chat and Spirit of Life. Mirella,
Yes.
You have a final saying for us.
Yes.
Would you like to read it?
And this is from Mary in Medjugorje, Queen of Peace. Our Lady said on the 25th of November 2005, this is an excerpt from it, "Only in faith will you discover the joy of the gift of life that God has given you. Your heart will be joyful, thinking of eternity. I am with you and love you with a tender love." And then the following one where she talks about the gift of life, she says on January the 25th, 1990, "Pray that you may be able to comprehend the greatness and the beauty of the gift of life."
Lovely. Now, you have Nina. Now, talk about this gift. I mean, carrying her, considering life for her. What was all that like?
Well, obviously, Catholics, when we get married, we have to be open to life. That's part of our faith. And I remember going back to the hospital, speaking to the spinal injury doctor that I had. And when I had my accident, the doctor said, the first thing they said was, "You can have a baby, you can have a baby." And I was thinking, I just got run over, nothing moving in the body. I'm not even thinking about a baby right now. Like that was when I had my accident. And then as time goes on, you know, I was doing a lot of walking, doing a lot of exercising, doing a lot of TV work. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should get married and, you know, open that door and have a baby. And so then I got married and Nina came along. And it was fine during the pregnancy. I sort of kept it a bit quiet, didn't want to advertise it. I kind of wore clothes covering it on TV and everything because I didn't want people to make a fuss because I thought if they think I've got a spinal injury and I'm carrying a baby, you know, it's going to be... But the doctors were all very confident. They said, you can keep walking. And I kept walking up until the birth of Nina. And I also had a trike. I'd ride my trike. And then I got a wheelchair given to me, I think it was about 4 days before the birth of Nina. And the pregnancy went quite well. I was quite healthy during the pregnancy, although it was a bit tight on my stomach, like like every mother, you know, it's tight when the baby's just about to come. And but I remember at one point I went to the doctors and the doctor said, "Do you want to have this injection to check what kind of baby, if the baby's okay, you know, if it's going to have Down syndrome or something?" And I said, "Oh no, I don't need to have any injections. I don't need any checks or anything. The baby's coming out, you know, whatever the baby is, the baby's coming out." And he was taken a little bit aback by that, I think, you know, but in a good way. And of course, thanks be to God, Nina turned out beautiful and healthy and everything. And yeah, it was good. It was an interesting time during that pregnancy because for some reason, people coming on the shows that I was interviewing on Visions and on Nat Chat and Spirit of Life, all of them seemed to be pregnant during the time I was pregnant. And one mother came on and she said she was told to that her baby would be damaged in some way, and so it would be better not to, you know. And she said, no, my baby's fine. I'm having my baby. And the baby was fine, you know. And now, you know, when we did the show, the baby was 10 years old running around and there was no sickness or illness with the baby. So she had faith too.
Yes, that's lovely. So tell me about the joys of Nina. What's been occurring here over the last few years?
Oh, it's mind-boggling really because it's life-changing to have a baby. And I remember when we first had her and my husband just did not stop taking photos. I was just like, I think we were both like in shock, like we're holding this gorgeous little baby and he's like always taking photos of every little thing and it's like hundreds and hundreds of photos. And it's been a joy. It's something you would never ever comprehend unless you had a baby. You just, like before I had, you know, I just never comprehended it until now,
So there may be many books written and lots of comments that pass about pregnancy and having the child, but you've got to go through it, right? And even for the male, you know, we're not quite geared for the same thing, but there's something very special. And then when the grandchildren come along, there's nothing written about being grandparents, but that moment of the birth of your grandson or daughter is, you know, you could write books and books. on the whole experience. So Nina's been drawing away, and shortly we're going to have a look at the picture that she's put together for us. So this is part of her joyous expression, is art. Does art play a role in your life?
Nina, well, I used to love, when I was at school, I loved drawing. I had three things I was either going to do. I was going to be a special PE teacher, physical education teacher, or I was going to be an artist, which is drawing and painting, or I was going to do acting. I ended up going down the acting avenue. But I always loved drawing, and my sisters and I used to stay up very, very late drawing at night. I was telling Nina, I shouldn't have told her because now she's really doing it a lot. And my mum said, go to bed, and we'd just be like drawing and drawing and drawing for hours. So I love drawing. I do love drawing a lot. And Nina loves drawing, don't you, Bella? Yeah. She loves all the very similar things to me, actually. Yes. Ballet, has done ballet as well. Drawing, acting, she loves playing acting with her friends.
Yes. And when you do acting, where does that fit?
I don't do it now. I was doing performing arts.
Yes.
I did still do a little bit. I did a bit on Neighbours, a bit on Blue Heelers, Stingers, and True Love and Chaos movie, and Noah's Ark with John Voight. And I didn't even know who he was at the time, but he was beautiful. He came up and started talking to me. I was a beggar in the film. And I remember he came out and said to me, oh, what are you playing? And I said, oh, I'm playing one of the beggars. What do you play? I said, are you another beggar? Because we all looked like beggars because we had like the old sort of ragged clothes on and everything. And he was just such a beautiful guy. Yeah, really, really friendly and warm.
Okay. Now, with this love of God that you long to share with others, how does that happen on a movie set?
I don't know. I felt like I had to do nothing on a movie set because there was for some reason that I was blessed because there was always so much love, like real love, and just everyone cared for each other, and it's just a very, very beautiful, loving atmosphere. On all of the sets, every single set that I was on, I found that there. Wow. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And the other, like, I didn't have a speaking role on Blue Heelers and Stingers. I was just an extra, and an extra on Noah's Ark, but that was the TV miniseries. But all of them, all the same, just there was such an atmosphere of love.
Okay, so your aversion to caging animals, that didn't start with Noah's Ark, did it? All those animals.
No, I've been vegetarian more than half my lifetime, and I guess I love animals. I just think it's all. I don't eat animals. I don't drink animals. You know, I just don't drink their milk or anything. You know, just something I think I've grown up with. My brother he was probably the first in the family, one of my brothers, to be a vegetarian when he was 11 years old, and then we all a lot of us got influenced a little bit by him, I think.
Well, we have Nina to conclude the program with her picture. Would you like to describe it?
Okay, well, that's you.
Thank you.
There's you.
Yes.
There's my mum, and there's David.
David's at the controls.
Oh, yeah, and there's me.
Oh, very important stuff.
And David here behind the camera.
We can say to our audience, may every moment be creative for them. You've been watching Support Life, and that's all for our program today. Join us again next week. Goodbye.